I'm not like everybody else. I don't want to be like everybody else. I have something inside which is burning. And I look around and this life and everything I see is not for me. I'm supposed to be something different. I have to be something different.
When you're built different than everybody else and you have this desire for more and this desire for achievement and this desire to win, everybody else looks at you like you're fucked up. And they'll tell you that too. You know, what the is wrong with you? Like, why can't you just relax? Why can't you just do this? Why can't, because I'm just not built that way, man.
Everyone does a few reps where the burn starts and they stop. No one goes the extra mile and keeps going. Like no one's in here right now. Why? Because it's Saturday evening, everyone's going to party, no one's in here, just me. You know, no one goes the extra mile. The thing about traffic jams, guys, there are no traffic jams in the last mile of the race. It's just you and your shadow. In the beginning, everybody's there. All the pretenders and the contenders, they're all there. But the last yard of life, the last mile of the journey, ain't nobody but you and your shadow. Traffic jams don't exist that far, because everyone else has already given up. That's what I like too, the mental concept. I'm going that far. I love the physical high of the burn being released. I love the mental high that it's improved myself. I love the mentality that I'm beating my competitors silently where they don't even know it. They're out partying, I'm out here getting ahead.
I'm built different, period. Rarely go out, and I always felt like if other cats was out partying and I was home studying, I would have an edge. Like, I'm literally like, all right, I will party later. I work hard now, so the second half of my life, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Mm-hmm. That's been my mentality. It's like, I'm not going to trick off my early years for partying and then worry about struggling, how I'm going to make it, how I'm going to take care of my family, how I'm going to take care of everybody else. Like, that's not going to be me. I'm going to grind it out now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to set up the foundation so I can enjoy myself later. That's always been my mentality.
There's human beings that have different temperament and different minds and different mentality and a ruthless competitive drive that's almost terrifying to the ordinary person.
So I had made the decision that I would either die or I would succeed. And so I didn't know when it would happen. I just figured if I continued. So so if there's one thing for the audience, if anyone who's going through it right now, like one of the thing that I would, the refrain, the repeated message that I had to myself over and over again was, I cannot lose if I do not quit. And so that was under my control. Then when I talk about like controlling the controllable, like I could choose not to quit. And so if I could just have that, then it meant like, it was like this tiny little thing is like, if I don't quit, I didn't lose. It just means I still get to play.
Champions are broken. I was like, huh. It's like people look at champions and try and find something that champion has that they don't have. He's like, but it's not that at all. He's like, they lack something everyone else has, which is an off button. They just don't stop.
And I just cracked one day and I was like, fuck happiness. Because it felt so out of reach that I was like, just fuck it. I'm not even gonna shoot for it. I'm just gonna do stuff. And that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just going to do stuff. And what happened was like a few years later, a few days later, I looked up and I was like, huh, I'm not miserable. And I promise you, every single person who wants to do something with their life and has done something with their life has gone through the exact chapter that you're going through. And it's the lonely chapter. It's the chapter where you don't fit in with your own friends, but you don't have the outcomes yet to fit into a new group of friends. And you're doing this thing, you're consuming content on the internet, you're doing these free tutorials online to try and figure out how to set up a podcast and where do I host this thing? And you're going through this and you're like, is this even worth it? Because you have no signs of success, right? But if there's anything that you can take away from what we're saying right now is that the sign of success is the hate that you get along the way. And what you can't do is bend the knee to their hate and fit back into the conformity because it's comfortable and it's warm. Because like in the Matrix, when Trinity opens the door, when Neo's about to go take the red pill and he wants to get out of the car, she says, Neo, you've been down that road and you know exactly where it leads. And I know that's not where you want to be.
The lonely chapter is a period in everybody's life where they start to do personal development or change or go to the gym, and they begin to become so different that they no longer resonate or can relate to their old set of friends, but they're not yet sufficiently developed or different that they've built their new set of friends. And they kind of get stuck in this middle section, this lonely.
Well, everybody, it's Groundhog's Day again for David Goggins. If you pan it down here, you see it's about 3 o'clock in the morning and there's not a car or a person in sight. If you pan over here, it's the same thing. Not a car or a person in sight. People want to know where I find my strength at, where I get my strength. I get it from a lot of places, but right now, this morning, I'm getting it from, there's not a motherfucker that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday, hate it's a Monday. And I'm loving it. I'm loving that. Where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the fuck after it every daggone day. Stay hard.
Everybody's asleep, man, or they're just getting home after a long night. You know, going out there partying. It's Friday night. It's close to 3 in the morning right now. You know, the thing is, man, it's always going to be a party. There's always going to be a time to celebrate, and there's a time to join friends, and or a day to, I mean, the bars are always open. Always open. No matter how old you are, they're always open, you know? What's not always open is the opportunity to check the box in life. You know, to achieve your dreams. That's not always open, man. And it's funny, it's like, you know, I'm not saying you do it all the time and everything else, because everyone needs a release in life. But it's funny when you're coming here and you're closing the gym up, and there's no one in the parking lot except for my car. And everyone else probably getting home from some party right now, because bars are closed right now too. You know, they're probably going to sleep, and they're probably going to have to wake up and apologize to somebody for however way they acted, because that's not who they really are. They're chemically induced to be a certain way, to have the social lubricants, or to be able to talk, to be liked, and say they take something in order to be that guy. Just like people that do steroids, whatever else. I have to take this to be all that, you know? But who I am as an individual isn't quite good enough. That's why I need to take something and become somebody else. You know, it's a sad reality. You know that expression I always say, guys? You burn the midnight oil now, otherwise you stay awake in the midnight hours wondering what if. We destroyed that here tonight. It's 2 a.m. right now. No one here. Mano to mano, me and you, and where we want to go tomorrow. 2 a.m. What I love about 2 a.m. is that we're not living by the clock, man. Just because the clock says it's 10 o'clock, time to go to sleep, or 9 to 5, time to go to work. That's bullshit. If you're in bed right now and you're rolling around, you can't fall asleep, get the fuck up. It probably means you haven't done an honest day's work to earn that rest at night. 2 a.m., not a fucking person's here. I can scream my fucking ass off. No one hears me. I can cry. I can shit myself. I can put an honest day's work in here that more than anyone does in a week. And no one sees it. Because it's supposed to be that way. This is a fucking means to the ends. It's not the ends. All those motherfuckers that come in here, their hair done, the makeup, you know, these guys come in the shirts to be seen. Missing the fucking point, man. Missing the point. You're not in here to get an achievement. You're in here to pay your fucking dues, so later in life, you never wonder what if. You don't need to say, I gotta burn the midnight oil so I don't stay awake in the midnight hours wondering if. We just erase that out of the equation. We're putting the work in now, so we never wonder what if. Not run by the clock. Run by our desire where we want to go tomorrow. Our competition's fucking asleep right now. We're getting ahead of that competition. The margins between first and loser, the second place finisher, growing and growing and growing. They're all gonna fight for second place. They won't be able to keep up with you. That's being on the right path, man. Never looking back to our past. The past is great. We're proud of it. But it's not the current day. All that shit is created who we are right now, where life begins, and how we feel, and where we want to go, using that information to excel ourselves to the future of where we want to be tomorrow, which is right fucking now, last I looked. Not when the sun comes up. It's when we're ready to get it.
This dude said, there's a moment when every boy realizes no one's coming to save him. And that's when he becomes a man. And some boys never get there and stay children forever.
No one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you.
Pete is the most dangerous person in the world is a man that is broken and alone.
I've trained 99% of my life alone. No one pat me on the back. I did all of the work alone. You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in the day where you're alone in this brain. And your brain is talking to you in all kinds of ways. And it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you're fucked. You gotta tell your brain where you wanna go and how you wanna go and how you wanna get there. You gotta control it. If not, it's over. You're not able to think. The most powerful weapon in the world, we walk around with it. It's our mind, it's our brain. You have to be able to go into a very dark place in your mind and figure who you are. Go back to what you want to do, what's your purpose. We can't figure our purpose out or why we're here or why we're even born or whatever because it's so loud in our mind. We don't have any quiet time with ourselves to sit back and say, what do I really want? There's so many different dialogues in our head that we can't think. So my biggest thing is you have to be alone in a very dark place in your mind to think about what is important to you.
I can't tell you how many times I've been on my own, man. Filled. Self-doubt, wondering. Times I don't want to go back to, I'll tell you that much. Times that was so taxing on me. It could have gone either way. They were that intense. I get a little fucking emotional, man. I don't want to go back to them because they took everything I had. And at the end of the day, I was still standing. And once still standing on that one time when I committed myself to something, I didn't just say I was going to do it, I fucking did it. I backed my words up with action, I went for it, no matter what the costs were. I saw it through. Even though it took everything I had to crawl my way to the finish line, but I finished that line. Pride came in. Self-worth. A building block nugget of life that I could stack up to create the character of morality, integrity, and dedication to face any adversity that this fucking society throws at me. That's the seed. That's the building block that will make or break every reality dream into that forefront. It turns the dreams into a walking inspiration for others and a reality that you can put it on the mantle one day and remember yourself.
It was isolation, it was visualization, it was motivation, and it was dedication. There was nothing else going on in my life, you know what I mean?
And you don't like people too, right?
I mean, it's not that I don't like people, it's just that I'd rather just, this needs to be, to get to the level that you need to get to the pinnacle, it needs to be like that. It needs to be no outsiders. It needs to be, you need to have your team and your focus, and that's it. I don't need friends that aren't involved in this game or that aren't on the same path, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't make sense. I feel to be at the pinnacle of any game, in whatever you do, you've got to be a little bit gone to it. You're not all there. You've got to be almost insane to your craft. Not a lot of people can understand that. That's why I don't know about nothing else. I do not pay attention to nothing else. There was games of football on yesterday, there was rugby, there was this, there was that. And like normal society is like, let's talk about this and let's engage in this. And I can't do it. People are talking to me and in my head I'm counting something. I'm counting up a number, or I'm knee deep in a sequence on the mat or on the feet. That's my life, sequences and numbers, nothing else. I cannot pay attention to nothing else.
What makes you such a good fighter?
I don't know, I'm just curious about it. I'm curious about it. It's never, I mean, it's in my head 24/7. There's nothing else I can think. I don't think about nothing else. And that's it, I'm just curious. Curiously fascinated with it, and I can't stop thinking about it. Everything I do in my life is related to this. I don't do nothing else if it's not got to do with fighting. You know what I mean? And that is why, you know what I mean? To be truly good at something, all you've got to do is show up.
Is that not unhealthy?
I don't know. Do I look unhealthy? Take a look at this physique. I'm in phenomenal shape. in body and mind. To me, what's unhealthy is living an unhealthy life. To me, what's unhealthy is getting up and going through the same day every day of your life, 9 to 5, in an office or in a, you know what I mean? That's unhealthy. That beats your mind.
Act like the person you want to become. That's not fake it till you make it, by the way. This is intentional. Intentionally act like the person you want to become. Because when you intentionally act like the person you want to become, your brain sees you taking those actions, so your brain starts to change the way it relates to you. When your brain sees you high-fiving yourself in the mirror, it starts to go, oh, wait a minute. Steven loves himself. Steven's cheering for himself. We don't beat Steven up.
Isn't it about time you become that person you knew you always could be? How do you do that? You break the fucking mold, guys. You get the fuck out of bed when it's cold, when it's early. You do something away from the normality of what you've been doing. That's psychotic behavior. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result doesn't work that way. You must switch up the mainframe. Switch it up if you want a different result, man. Why not try it, man? Shock the system. Start with an earthquake, man. What I mean by that is, yeah, get up at 4 in the fucking morning one day. Just one day. And go for a fucking run. Commit to one day. And see how you feel. You can't talk it all the time. You gotta walk it. Commit to one day. Try it. See how it feels. Getting up that fucking early when everyone else is asleep. Or when it's that cold. When everybody else says, no, this is not comfortable. We shouldn't do this. You say, yes, motherfucker, I'm gonna introduce myself to it.
You see, the way that you become unstoppable is by refusing to stop. It's not a quality that you develop in a week or a month, or by reading or listening to something inspiring. It's a habit of mind and character that you develop by practicing the quality of persistence over and over in every circumstance until it locks in and becomes a permanent part of your character.
If you guys mentally believe you can do it, your body will find a way physically to make it happen. If you're short up here, it doesn't matter what you do with these guys, it will never materialize into anything. No dream will ever become reality. You guys have got to believe in yourself, headstrong, mentally tough. It's the only way through the bullshit here in life. Winners, the difference between them and the spectators is the winners have a belief that overrides the crowd's disbelief every single time. Their belief is so strong. Even though they hit failure, they get knocked on the ass. They're finding the intestinal fortitude to stand back up again, face that same challenge, learning from the previous mistakes, and make it happen. Winners fail a million times. What makes them a winner is that they believe it, are headstrong. Nothing's gonna stop them. The spectators have tried it and failed it, and remain sitting down. They don't get up anymore because they don't believe it enough. The naysayers' disbelief overrides their ability, potential, and mental capacity that they can be more than that. Champions life are headstrong. You come in here headstrong for this workout. It's gonna take everything. This is madness. This is a super fucking psycho workout. But if you have it up here, and you go through it out there, guys, you will leave here not only physically dominating, but mentally unstoppable. It all starts today, if you're ready to transform. And when it comes to the day, there is no other way. Boom! You are the man. You're the man before you start the fucking race. Because you believe it. And if you don't believe it, then that journey turns into a debate. Without belief, every journey will turn into a debate. If you don't prior study it, if you don't find the value, for me, Ranger School, if I didn't have the value of what the Ranger tab meant to me, not my dad, my mom, or girlfriend, to me, no fucking way. But I want to be part of it. Fucking high society. Today, I'm no longer gonna be a fucking loser. Today, I'm gonna change my fucking path. I'm gonna get on the path of success. I don't care how long that road is. I'm gonna see it through no matter what. Because you know what? I've been living enough years in this shithole, and I don't wanna be here anymore. I'm not happy with this. And I'm tired of making excuses. I'm tired of going through the same circular motion of shit. Man, do you want it? There's two options. To continue forward, pushing upward. And if you do, that dream is giving birth
and forever you will live in the reality of it. If you stop, quit, throw in the towel, I promise you there's no distance you can travel far enough to ever find that dream again. For it is dead, and in its death is replaced by regret.